Clarcel, and I'm an author. And I just finished plotting a new novel and actually drafting the new novel. So I now have 51,000 words of a new project. And I want to make a couple videos about things I discovered on the way that might help other writers. So, one thing I discovered that was that when I was in the middle, which is after things are set up and things are in motion, but before the resolution gets started, where we're like running toward the finish line, that whole big chunk in the middle, and it's more than half the book, I would say, something like 60% of the book ends up being the middle. So, in the middle, I noticed that what worked for me was to visualize an abacus, meaning those bars with little beads on them and you slide them over. Okay, so I realized that by picturing an abacus, I could keep track of the different aspects of the plot. And in each chapter, I wanted to move the beads forward. Or maybe one chapter moves one bead forward. Let's say the main character solving their problem moves forward. Well, then maybe the next chapter, I don't touch that bead, but I move something else forward, like the romance element or the best friend problem. Or you could think in terms of characters too, like I'm going to move this person forward in their arc, but now I have to come back and let's not forget all the others and make them move forward in their arc. So this image of an abacus really helped me because I knew that we couldn't just do one line all the time. The reader gets bored. If I have nothing but my main character solving their problem and there's nothing else going on, I'm going to have a book that doesn't have a lot of layers and textures and richness. So one way to add that is to make sure you have multiple sets of beads or rows of beads that you're trying to move along a little bit at a time. So maybe the main character makes some progress in this area, but then in the relationship, they need to also make progress. And then maybe in, let's say at work, they also need to make progress. Or let's say they're a student and they have school, so they also need to move forward in that plot line. And when I say progress, I don't necessarily mean that everything's going well for them. I just mean that you as the author are pushing that plot forward or that thread of the book forward. You could also think in terms of themes, like, okay, I have a family theme, and then I have, like, let's say my unicorn theme, or I have these, kind of life lessons and things that the characters are all dealing with, or maybe issues, and I want to move them forward. This bead moves forward, then maybe still in that chapter, I need to move another bead at the same time so that my chapters are textured, so that my multi-chapter sections are having this depth, these layers. It's an image that just worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you. As you see your character in, having multiple aspects to their lives, let's say home and family, and then like work or school, and then like spiritual life or hobby, all these things need to move forward. And if one gets way out ahead, you're going to find that the character is alone out there, right? That one element of the book is developing beautifully, but everything else is being left behind. So this is how I started to visualize how my chapter should go, what I should include, when is it time to go forward? Well, not until we've caught up some other things. It's an image that worked for me. So that's how I made it through the vast middle of the book. Act 2, a lot of us would say, is using the Abacus Method. Yes. All right, so maybe that was helpful. I hope so. Join me for another video soon.